Hi, and welcome to the Coltrane Conservatory of the Arts talk show. And we're just gotten back. You know, we've been off for a while now, and we want to make certain that we address some of the things that we stopped with on last season around. And first of all, I'd like to say my name is Joe Pace. I am the director of the Coltrane Conservatory of the Arts, and I'm also an instructor there. We are a music school. We train in all the instruments except the string instruments, which would be the violin, the viola, the contrabass, cello, and instruments of that type. We don't train in, but we do train in things like the trumpet, the saxophone, the cornet, baritone horn, guitar, piano, drums. And for those of you who are interested in learning how to play an instrument, we want to encourage you to call in on today. We do have a young man, my production assistant, who is Theory Lewis, who's waiting for your calls. And so all you have to do is just make that phone call, and he will be more than happy to give you further information as to how you can get involved. Now, in addition to that, let me give you the address. We're located at 6353 South Cottage Grove, and that's right across the street from the Social Security office, right next to the Grand Ballroom, and right next to Alderman Willie Cochran. So we're right in between the Grand Ballroom and Alderman Willie Cochran, just across the street from the Social Security office. Now there are people in Woodlawn, and of course that's Woodlawn. There are people in Woodlawn who may not even know that we are there, and we've been there now. We're in our 4th year. We position ourselves in that community so that we could bring something that has been taken out of the public schools to the citizens of that community and surrounding communities. We have a lot of participation from people who live in Hyde Park, Chatham, even as far as Peel Hill, which is of course the far south side, southeast side. We have people coming from South Shore, and we've even had students from as far as Oak Park. Our rates, by the way, which we don't discuss on the air, but are perhaps the best in the whole of Chicago. What we hear, and we have to keep up with this coming out of other schools and organizations of the type that we are. We hear that their rates are just absolutely 30, 40, 50% more than what ours are. Now, we keep our rates there because we want everybody to be able to train in music if they are interested in music. Some people are not all that interested in music, but then some are. And those who are, we want to make ourselves available to them. And that's why we keep our rates. Now, we are a non-for-profit. And as a non-for-profit, you're always in the process of having to look for funding, especially since you're trying to service the community. You're trying to do what you can without people having to sacrifice food and shelter and clothing and other necessities. So bear in mind, though, that we are a non-for-profit, and as a non-for-profit, we're always looking to find ways to keep the doors open, and we've done that for 4 years now. By the way, we had a recital on last Sunday, and I want to share that with you. It was just absolutely fantastic. Our students performed so well, and if any of you are tuning in right now, I want to commend you on an excellent recital. You did such a wonderful job, and their parents and grandparents and friends and family members were were just absolutely thrilled by their performance. Now, we have students that have been with us nearly as long as we have been in organization, in establishment, maybe I should say. And the bottom line is these students have gotten better and better each year that they come to us. They're getting better and better and better. And so we want you to fall into that category. We get a lot of, and we have older students as well as younger students. We start at 8 years old, usually, and we go up, there is no ceiling, we go up to whatever. Whoever wants to come in, and I get calls from people who are senior citizens and who are retired, and they want to know if it's an age in which we don't take. But there is no such age. We take all the ages. We're happy to take all the ages. This is just what we're here for. Now, we would take students who are not 8 years old at this time also. We have a student right now we have a student who is 5 years old, and she was in performance on last Sunday, and she did a great job with her 2 songs, and we were just so happy and delighted to be there to witness that. We had a full house. All the recitals are done at our facility, which is, of course, located, as I said, 6353 South Cottage Grove. And the place was packed. It was packed on Sunday. Our recitals are always packed, if you want to know the truth. And we only hold about maybe 60, 70 people, but every time we have a recital, we have 2 of them a year. We have one in July, and then we have another in December. Now, the recitals are part of the training. In other words, when people know they're going to be performing in public, our student musicians know that, they then will be motivated to practice more, to prepare themselves. And we have one in July, we have one in December, so that's about 6 months apart. And right now, we just had this one on last Sunday, which was for July. Coming up in December, we'll have another one, and we usually, I should say, start preparing for the one in December sometimes in October. And that gives students 2 solid months to get ready to perform for their friends, their family members, their grandparents, their parents, their uncles and aunts, and even the other students. And I could it was just so beautiful. I can't explain it to you. We don't really do all that much advertising for our recitals because we know that students and their parents and grandparents and aunts and whatnot are going to come out and support that. And we don't charge anything to get into that. Everything, we try to make everything here at the Coltrane Conservatory of the Arts. If it's not free, it's so close to it. And now, don't get me wrong. Now, we have to keep our doors open, but I mean, compared to others, it's so close to it, And none of us receives a salary. Me, the director of the facility and founder, if I might, as well as an instructor. I teach drums, trumpet, baritone horn, all the brass horns, as well as piano there. And I'm so proud of some of my students. I had a drum student who really, if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. I have drum students who can really play, and I have piano students that can really play. They can play, they can play, and I'm not just saying something, but they've been there for 2 or 3 years. I have a child who's 12 years old, and she always amazes me. And when she came there, she was brand new, never had been on the piano before. I think they tried her out. Her parents tried her out when she was about 3 years old, but we know where that went because, to be honest with you, the piano is a sophisticated instrument, and trying to learn how to play it at 2 or 3 years old is just too much for the undeveloped brains of a youngster of that age. And we realize that. That's why we start out, all of our piano players, we try to start them off at 8 years old. But we'll take them in earlier. Like I said, we had one that was 5 years old on Sunday. And she performed very well. But when she came to the facility and her mother, and we gave her what we call a free assessment. We do free assessments, folks. If you're interested in playing an instrument, we're going to bring you in and evaluate you, and it won't cost you one to do that, to see if you really, really want to do this, So for some of you out there sitting around who want to do something, especially those of you who are retired or just those of you who would have wanted to play an instrument for many, many years, call us up at that number right there, 312-738-1060. And my production assistant will be more than happy to give you more information. Or you may call our facility, which is 773-891-1875. But you do need to take action. If you're interested in doing something of this type, then do it. Don't keep putting it off. You're only going to live this life once, that's for sure. And so you may as well get some things done that are really going to make you happy, make you feel good about life. And really, once you learn how to play an instrument, there's a certain amount of fulfillment involved in it. Self-fulfillment. You really feel like you've reached the point where you've accomplished something, and no one can take that away from you. And in addition to that, it's therapeutic. You sit down and play. Sometimes when I get home, because I play the piano myself, and even though I spend some long hours doing what I do, and I get home sometimes so late, but after I do some things, go through my routine, I'll play the piano for maybe 30 minutes or something, and it just really just eases me down, and makes me feel so good before I retire. So it's a lot of benefits in playing an instrument. It's a lot of benefits in learning how to do something that most people don't know how to do. And I remember when I first became a musician, I used to really love it. And I would put myself in positions where I'd be around people who couldn't play anything. And it would always amaze me that they would be so thrilled that that I was able to do something, and I'm talking about when I was a kid growing up. Okay, now, folks, we're going to be having an annual get-together. This is something now we're not always, we don't want to do anything other than invite you to come out on the 27th of August. I just got through talking to you about the things that we have to do to make sure that we keep our doors open. And so I'm going to share this with you right now because I think you need to know about it. Now, those of you who are watching, that is on the screen, we want to invite you to that function, okay? And this is a function that one of our students is going to be really doing for us. Some of you may be familiar with Dr. Bacon, Dr. Cuddy W. Bacon III. And Dr. Bacon offered his service in terms of helping us to keep our doors open. And when you look at that, I hope you can see it. It's right there on the screen. This is going to occur on the 27th of August. And we'd like for you to come out. And there's going to be a lot of enjoyment. There's going to be some entertainment. We have a pianist that's going to be there. He plays at Gibson Restaurant downtown. I think it's in that restaurant. I believe it's in the what they call the off from the Magnificent Mile. But George Newtall will be with us on that Sunday the 27th, from 3 until 5 p.m. And this is a big to-do. And if you want to know more about it, you get on the phone and give us a call. You can call us at our facility, which is 773-891-1875. Or you can call this facility right now. Now, this is going to be something that you can bring your significant other, because you're going to be out you're going to be in on the harbor. This happens on the 31st Street Harbor. Okay, and this is intended for us to keep our doors open. We want everybody to show up there and to get involved with this. Okay, because we're providing what we believe is a great service to the community, and we need to be able to continue to do this. Okay, now, if you want more information about that, just give us a call. And of course, we want to keep not only our music going, but we want to keep our tutoring going, because we do tutor in math and English, and I think a bunch of you know that, because we've been doing that for the last for 4 years now, or a little over 4 years. Now, I want to share this with you too. Some of you folks may be familiar with Dr. Bacon, Dr. Cuddy Bacon, because he does a show on Can Television also. He produces his own show. Now keep in mind that we're here every Wednesday from 7:30 until 8. So you know that slot. And we were off there for 12 months. We've been back now. We're just starting back up now. And I want to share this right here with you too, because this is Dr. Bacon's book. Now this book, as you can see, it says How to Teach Kids to Be Millionaires. And of course that's by Dr. Cuddy W. Bacon III, and his son, who is Cuddy W. Bacon IV. Now this is a beautiful book. You have children, you have grandchildren. I want you to be able to have this book. If you can give us a call, we'll tell you how you can get it. And you can give us a call here at the station, or you can give us a call at our facility, again, which is 773-891-1875. Now, if you do call there and you get an answering machine, you leave your information on the voicemail. You leave your name and your phone number and a brief message, and we will get back to you more than likely within 24 hours. Okay? All right. Now this book is entitled How to Teach Kids to Be Millionaires. And in this book, which I have read thoroughly, it's all kinds of ideas and suggestions as to how you can get your children and grandchildren to where you don't have to worry about them as they grow up, and when they get grown, you don't have to worry about them wasting their lives away and wasting what they have. Most of us are going to be working what we call middle-class lives. Even if you're listening to this and you're on your way to college, or you finish college, you more than likely fall into the middle-class category. But if you say had the knowledge, let's say 20 or 30 years ago, as to how to spend your money, you could perhaps be somewhat of a millionaire right now, maybe even a multi-millionaire, because in this book that we just showed you with Dr. Bacon, this book has a number of things regarding how to invest on the stock market, just how children should put aside 25 cents out of a dollar somewhere where it's going to be saved, and have the knowledge of how to do little things to make money, whether or not it's a little lemonade stand, or it's something else, or if it's just wiping somebody's dusting in somebody's home. These are real solid plans for youngsters to have something, some knowledge rather of how to spend money, how to deal with money. It's so much in there for young people and for older people too. But we say for young people because it's written in such a elementary and understandable way. You know, it's written exactly so that youngsters and oldsters alike can really understand it. So I want you to give us a call. You can call us here. We got about 3 minutes. We're getting ready to get off the air now. But we still have time to take your phone call, 312-738-1060. Or you can get a hold of us at 773-891-1875. Now, it's up to you, again, to get your children involved in our music programs. We can explain all of that to you. You're not going to go anywhere that you can enroll your children in a solid A1 program as easy as you will come to us. And don't forget about the annual fundraiser that we're going to be having. Okay, we want to invite you to that. And that's going to be that's going to be at the beautiful 31st Street Harbor, and that'll be on August 27th. And also, lastly, you know, you can call us about this book by Dr. Bacon, How to Teach Kids to Be Millionaires. And we will give you more information as to how to get involved with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in on today. First of all, it's been a beautiful summer. Been kind of hot, but you know, I haven't heard, and I hope I'm not underneath some pillow or something, but I haven't heard of nearly as much problems as I heard on last year. And I live not far from a hospital, and I haven't heard the sirens go by my house, you know, taking somebody to the emergency room. So I think that somehow there is some positivism to that. I think whether or not the statistics are showing up, as the city keeps them, or not, there seems to be a more peaceful environment this summer. And of course, we've had a whole bunch of concerts that are going on. And by the way, I want to put a plug in for the Universal Jazz Alley, which happens on this coming Saturday. And I believe that starts around 2 p.m. and goes until about 7 o'clock. And that's at 72nd, I want to say Constant, 72nd, and somewhere right in there. You can't miss it. It's not far off of Jeffrey. It's between Jeffrey and Stony Island. Not 72nd, but 71st. So I want to put a plug in for that. And also, the gentleman who was responsible for the great success of it passed away on last year. His name, of course, is Dr. Cedar Weber. And his daughter is now taken over in his stead. And so go out and support that. You know, these are things that are happening in the community. And then, of course, we want you to be very, very aware of things that are going on around in the city. And that's one of them. And we want you to be aware of getting involved with your own community, because the more that you get involved, the more things are going to change for the best. One of us can't do it, two of us can't do it, but all of us together can do it, and we can do it big time. We can make it happen. So until next week, we want to say, everybody, please be safe. Tell somebody about the program, and please tune in on next week. And remember to give us a call at 773-891-1875. And thank you, and we'll see you next week.